I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
All right, ladies and gents.
A total and complete yes stream tonight for the big homie Nick.
Emily in the house. Lisa in the house. Where's Amy? I don't want to start until Amy comes back. Okay, here it is, guys. Here is... hopefully, when I get done reading this, Amy will be back. Okay, here it is. Yes, no disgrace. For this stream, I thought I'd take you guys on a deep dive into a band that you guys have reacted to a few times before. But the name of the band is Yes. This band is considered by many to be the greatest prog rock band of all time, and the following 5 songs are usually most often brought up in that discussion. The first 2 songs are off of Yes's 3rd studio album, the Yes album, and the last 3 songs make up their 5th studio album, Closer to the Edge, which is considered to be the greatest prog album ever made, with, as previously stated, only 3 songs on the entire album. The title track of that album is considered to be the greatest prog song ever made as well. The classic lineup of this band consists of vocalist John Anderson, guitarist Steve Howe, bassist Chris Squire, keyboardist, organist Rick Wakeman, and drummer Bill Buford. All 5 of them are superb musicians, singers, and songwriters in their own right. Sadly, Chris Squire died of cancer in 2015, and the band's second drummer, Alan White, passed away earlier this year. Enjoy the 5 masterpieces by one of the most revered musical acts in rock history. That was the big homie Nick giving us a little preview about the band that we're about to listen to. And here we go. Song number 1, Yours Is No Disgrace by the band Yes. Let's do this shit.
Caesar's palace, morning glory, city, human race. On a sailing ship to nowhere, leaving any place. If the summer changed to winter, yours is no disgrace. Battleships come fighting me, and tell me where you are. Shining, flying, purple wolf, I'll show me where you are. Lost in summer, morning, winter, tell me where you are. Lost in losing circumstances, that's just where you are.
Whoa.
Yesterday a morning came, a smile upon your face. Caesar's palace, morning glory, silly human race. On a sailing ship to nowhere, leaving any place. If the summer changed to winter, yours is no Battleships confiding me and tell me where you are. Shining, flying, purple wolf, come show me where you are. Lost in summer, morning, winter, travel very far. Lost in losing circumstances, that's just where you are.
Oh,
okay.
that was song number 1. As Ramsey says, these changes from melody and vocals to just an explosion of the sound is the best. Yeah, man, these guys, Space Delver, I understand, bro. You're a metalhead. You want the chug-a-lug-a-lug-a-lug stuff immediately. My brother, we've got literally over 2,000 videos. The vast majority of which are bang, 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 I hate my life.
Just click on one of those and pretend that we're live.
If you want to see like hardcore metal, go for it. But the design of this particular
Evening.
structure is so that we can get access to music that is not, standard on reaction channels, so that we can get a broader palette of music. So,
Yeah.
I understand, I get it, I hear you. But this is where we're at, and I love it. I love it. Metallica, Tool, what's the other band with the kiddies, raps and stuff? Those are all really good too. Okay. The lyrics contrast soldiers suffering versus people partying in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
So that's the dichotomy.
So this is 1971. And when it was talking, which
That would be
apparently
Vietnam.
Vietnam went from 55 to 75.
That would be 71 would be Vietnam. I thought Vietnam was done in 74, but okay, 75.
Well, I'm looking over here.
Okay, so yesterday a
April of
morning
75.
came, a smile upon your face, Caesar's palace, morning glory, silly human race. On a sailing ship to nowhere, leaving any place in the if the summer changes to winter, yours is no disgrace.
Oh.
I don't know what that means. If the summer changes to winter, yours is no disgrace.
Oh, I assumed that it meant because Vietnam, they were drafted, right?
Yeah.
Was that the draft? Yeah. And so when it said, if summer changed to winter, yours is no disgrace, I just took that as, like, if this whole endeavor that we're going on...
Hold on for a second. Hey, is everything okay? Nope, I'm working right now. Nope, I called you when you were working. You call me when I'm working. I love you. Bye. Okay, go ahead.
I just took that as, like, if summer changed to winter, yours is no disgrace. As in, like, when they first went out, like, you know how there's, like, that, oh, I'm going to be a soldier. Like, even though they were drafted, like, there still was, like, that beginning excitement. Like, maybe this is going to be whatever. And then it turned out to not be that way. And it turned out that they were engaging in things that a lot of them had a hard time dealing with when they came back. So I thought when it said, if summer changed to winter, yours is no disgrace, it just meant that if this whole thing kind of goes south and you're experiencing it differently than you thought, it's not like it's not to your disgrace. Like, because they were like dishonored when they came back and stuff. I thought this was just like the band's way of saying like it wasn't your fault. You know what I mean? Like those people, they were drafted, they kind of went, and if it changes, it's not your disgrace.
He
It's on the
says,
people who sent you.
battleships confide in me and tell me where you are. Shining, flying, purple wolfhound, show me where you are. Lost in summer, morning, winter, travel very far. Lost in musing circumstances, that's just where you are. Death-defying, mutilated armies scatter the earth. Crawling out of dirty holes, their morals disappear. Which, I mean...
I didn't see the party part.
Huh?
Because somebody was saying that it contrasts like those that are in the war and those that are partying.
Well, he's talking about Caesar's Palace, which is where people party. It's in Las Vegas. It's a party place. So he mentioned Caesar's Palace right there. That's what people do at Caesar's Palace is they party. It's a big fun thing.
Know what that was.
Meanwhile, you got these 18 and 19-year-old kids getting shipped off to nowhere. So that makes a lot of sense, like that contrast. But I talk about that a lot. When people talk about Nazi Germany and how everybody judges that entire country and that entire time period of people, when in reality, if you're an American, you know that our country's been beating the shit out of people for the last 20 years. And for the most part, most of us just go through life unaffected. So we're kind of... It's still relevant today because, America itself is Caesar's Palace. I know people, the economy and all this and that, but the vast majority of people in America have never really been in a third world country, so they don't get it. Americans are traumatized if the light goes off or whatever. For the most people on the planet, that's just a regular day, and they don't feel sorry for themselves about it.
Yeah.
I took a visit to Jamaica one time, and there was, we were out in the country is what we used to call it. And there was nothing. There was no electricity. You know what I'm saying? It was just, you went out, played all day. When it got dark, it got dark. There was candles and all types of shit. There was I think it was a kerosene lamp. But
really?
Yeah. And, it was fine. Nobody... So my point is like the basic standard of living that you're used to in America it is Caesar's Palace, while the rest of the world is suffering, and a lot of it is under our boot. So the context here is like, oh, you got people partying while there's these kids getting shipped off to other countries to fight for shit they don't even believe in, which that kind of irony is crazy, but the contrast is still there because we're still partying here while... Number one, you got people all over the world from our country that are going to places they don't want to go, but also the suffering of the people that are there based on what we've done. Like it's a fascinating song to look at. Battleships confide in me and tell me what you are. That's a good line because that's like literally like top secret information where the battleships are. So it's saying battleships confide in me and tell me where you are, which is kind of an interesting dichotomy because everybody experiences that at some degree, like the need for secrecy. So I was just listening to this guy. He was in Kuwait and they were rolling up to go into Iraq, and the way that his girl found out about it was on the news, because obviously that's not something you can say. By that time, after a workup and everything, like, you can't even talk to your family anyway. It's time to go. But so that itself is a very interesting. I don't know if interesting is a word.
So what happened?
But when
she
he
found out that way.
Yeah, she found out on TV just like everybody else. But I do think it creates a certain, like, if you have all these significant moments in your life, which when people go to war, like, anything you see there are going to be the most significant moments in your life.
Ugh.
But there's a whole, like, part of you that you cannot talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because you're about to go into it. So, like, the battleships confide in me line was pretty crazy because I was like, damn, like, dudes are, like, that shit is real. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, at some level, you're going through these incredible experiences, but you don't. And then obviously when dudes get home, you ain't trying to talk about that shit, bro. Like, yo, I just shot this dude in front of his son. Like, you're not going to have that conversation. So that, like, that's a crazy line. That's a crazy line to me. Battleships confide in me because it's personifying.
Is he asking
it's
them to confide in him so then he can stay safe if he knows where the battleships are?
I don't think so. Battleships confide in me, tell me where you are. Shining, flying, purple, wolfhound, show me where you are. Lost in summer morning. Yeah, I just think it's just talking about, like, all the things that are going on down there. When he says yours is no disgrace, it looks to me like he's talking about the people caught up in the war. Because he talks about, you know, your morals disappearing. Mm-hmm. You know, which there are very few. A lot of the morality that you think is universal really isn't. But one of the moralities that tends to be universal is the not killing people. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot for people to kill other people. So when it talks about your morals disappearing, even if you're not, like, obviously as a Christian, there's a lot of thought about morality and things like that, because the whole premise of the religion is that because we're unable to meet certain moral criteria, God has to come and save us from ourselves, our own self-inflicted consequences, and the wrath of God itself. But most people, even if you're not thinking about morality, most people, like, in their minds, like, that's the hard stop, killing another human being. So when you jump out of the hole and it says your morality disappears, that's contravening that ultimate taboo, which is killing another human being. And you have to make that side of yourself disappear, or otherwise you're not going home. And then you think to yourself, okay, I won't go home, and that's fine. But then your buddy's not going to go home.
Yeah.
And that's worse than you not going home. So then your morality disappears, which one of the ways to kind of reconcile that is to say that your morality didn't disappear, because if you didn't kill that guy, he would have killed your buddy. Mm-hmm. And your ultimate morality is for your buddy and for your country. And so killing that guy is not contravening your own personal morality, because you're doing it to defend your friend or your whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think that makes a lot of sense logically, but I don't know. It's kind of hollow, I think, because at the end of the day, when you're hanging out with your kids, there's another dude that can't hang out with his kids, and it's because of you. So, you know, people come up with all types of shit to say,
to justify it and make themselves feel better and make other people feel better.
Another thing that I'm like, you know, there's a lot of social media now, so you go off and do shit to somebody, the aftermath of what you did is there for everybody to see. And that's a completely different set of issues to have to work through.
Wow.
That a lot of people also have a very hard time with.
Yeah.
Because, you know, so there's a lot of interesting things about this entire situation. I don't know what language that is, but it sounds cool. Michelle. Yeah, so that was an interesting, and also sonically, like the music was okay. The music was okay to me. I remember Roundabout. Roundabout was almost like a space journey or something like that. This one was okay. I'm not a big fan of progressive. Everybody knows that. I don't like progressive music because I feel like they just drag the shit out for no reason. I didn't feel like that here. Like, obviously, these guys have completely mastered the craft, like, completely. And I also love that vocalist. They've got a really interesting vocal sound.
Yes, he definitely has an interesting sound to him. I felt like something about it, and I don't know if it was the vocal style or what it was musically, like something about it made me sad, like something of the past being lost. I can't describe it other than saying that. Yeah,
it definitely had that dated feel for sure.
Okay, but did it feel sad to you?
No. It didn't seem sad to me at all. I was just trying to, like zero in on the lyrics and figure out what he was saying because they were kind of like, I think it's Nick's point. It was they were appositional. It was like this guy's going off to war. You're in Caesar's palace. What's the connection? And then he's talking about the silliness of the human race, which is a very fascinating concept, especially if you take an idealist approach, which basically says that everything is mind and matter doesn't exist. So you're literally killing people for something that doesn't even exist in ultimate reality. You're fighting for resources and you're fighting for land and all these other things, but if the idealists are right, and I think they are, none of that actually truly exists anyway. So you're literally killing another person over nothing. But then you have to ask the question, okay, well, if matter doesn't exist, then what does it mean to kill a person? That's a serious question. Like, if the idealists are right and everything is mind and all the physicality that you see is just a projection or whatever, then why is it bad to kill another person?
But isn't that because even if you're just coming from that position, they're more than just matter.
Well, you can't be more than just matter because matter doesn't exist. So you can't be more than something that doesn't exist. So
but
all they
matter
are is
doesn't
consciousness.
Right.
Right,
Which,
like red doesn't
this
like the
desk
color red
have any
doesn't exist.
consciousness.
No, like this desk doesn't really exist. It's a projection in your mind. It's not really there. Is what an idealist would say.
Right.
So
but
it's
a
not.
human being is not that. A human being is not a projection in your mind.
Well, your physical.
There's something aside
your
from
physical
you.
body is. So when we talk about killing somebody, all I'm talking about is killing a person's physical body, but there's no such thing as an actual physical body. So my point is, from an idealist perspective, what's wrong with killing another person? That's my question. I think that's a fascinating question, and I don't think that I haven't heard Bernardo talk about that, but that is an interesting question because you see the problem. The physical body really doesn't exist. So what's the point? What's the problem with destroying it? It's not really there in the first place. It's just a projection. In the same way that the color red doesn't really exist. None of that shit really exists. They're projections of your.
But if life is, we're talking not as Christians. We're just talking regular. Like we're talking.
No, I'm talking about an ideal. I'm talking about an idealist.
Okay.
Like everything is mind.
So but if everything is mind, part of the reason why we have this experience in life is so we can understand certain things about ourselves and about the consciousness that we originated from, correct?
Well, no. I mean, that doesn't. That would be one way to interpret that, but that's certainly not Bernardo's.
What's the purpose for what do you mean? I thought that's what he said.
No, but look, there's no purpose for existence. Is the mind at large is trying to understand itself, and you are a result of his basically multiple personality.
Well, then I think that's
disorder.
a good question. And what's the harm?
So what's the harm in actually taking or really just ending the illusion of the physical compartment of a person?
Yeah, because I'm sure the greater consciousness can learn something from that. So.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, that's kind of a dangerous way of looking at that.
Yeah, it's a fascinating question. It's a fascinating question.
Okay.
Shout out to St. Petersburg, Florida. Okay, this is a solid 8 for me. What do you give it?
I would match an 8. Yeah.
All right, Stormtrooper. I'm glad to see that we make you happy. Hello, Vin and Sori. I'm here after watching your reaction to the Disturbed A Reason to Fight. I had thoughts of suicide. I have now been clean for 9 months. That is badass. Congratulations,
yeah.
sir. Well done. Well
Wow.
done. Staying clean ain't easy. Look at that. 9 months. That's like you basically, you're reborn, bro. If you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
See what I did there? 9 months, pregnancy.
I like that.
We got more yes on the way, bitches. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Go. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
9 months. That's real shit. That is real shit. Okay, guys, commercial break. We shall return.